What's up, guys? I'm back with another video, and today we're going to be playing as Germany and reforming, or not reforming, forming the EU, as if it wasn't, centralized enough. So I decided to start off with conquering Denmark, and initially it was easy, but for some reason, I don't know why, but the AI decided to like naval invade me with like 4,000 people. Anyways, I start invading to the northern tips of the island, but the AI does give a pretty good fight. They managed to actually retake a whole bunch of the territories. But of course, in the end, I do recruit some forces and I'm able to overpower them quite easily. And just in case I even recruit back in Hamburg, but it's not really necessary. And of course, I pick up that one last island, and well, just like that, Denmark doesn't exist anymore. You might find a weird parallel to the fact that to my last video, the Soviet Union, but we don't need to talk about it. Anyways, I move over the leftover troops from the Danish invasion to prepare for the invasion of the Netherlands. And I keep about 4,000. I realize, right, the Netherlands, they have a lot of factories, and so they can raise troops pretty well in this game. So that's why I made sure to have at least 4,000, which is a little bit more than my usual. And this time they actually managed to break through my front line, but yeah, they got stopped. And then I practically walk in, taking Amsterdam. It's all over. Next up, I carry the momentum and I decide to go along and invade Belgium because it's not gonna be the first time I'm invading the Benelux countries. It's Germany, so yeah, and it's not the first time. It's historically as well. The historical implications. Yeah. Anyways, I start invading Belgium, and of course it goes pretty well. They don't really stop my advance, but the troops from Brussels, which I'm pretty sure the AI just stacked, are able to break out. But yeah, I stopped them. And Luxembourg, I try to give them the option of annexation. They didn't take it, so I took the leftover troops because I knew that's all I'd really need, and the rest is history. So just like that, Benelux is gone, and they've stopped existing. So I decided to like leave that region for now since they're still assimilating, and I decided to prepare for an invasion of the Czech Republic. Funny enough, I had to stop recruiting because I ran out of money. So you know, make sure to keep your money. That's the main important thing in this game. You can have like a lot of population, but you don't have the money to recruit them. It's really useless. And so the thing was, while I was remaining in the Czech Republic, it was all going good, but they did stack one area. Luckily, I was able to concentrate my forces before they could spread out, and yeah, Czech Republic's gone. And so right after that, I decided to invade Slovakia, since I knew it would be relatively easy, and I had a couple thousand troops left over. And Russia declared war on me, so to get them off my back, I got Belarus, Ukraine, and Ukraine to declare war on them. That usually keeps them occupied for quite the amount of time. Isn't it enough to usually destroy Russia? Russia's a pretty big country, so uh, it's almost impossible to take over when the AI is fighting itself. But it keeps it occupied, so that's all I really need. They'll stop bothering me eventually. That's the plan. So right after that, yeah, that's the thing. I thought they stopped bothering me, but all of a sudden Russian invasion comes in. And they take a part of the Netherlands, and then they break out and they take another province, but it's crushed immediately. And this time, yeah, Russia pieces out. They know they can't really realistically do it, and of course, I'm pretty sure they have enough problems on their own. So, yeah. And the thing was, I was about to prepare for an invasion of Austria-Hungary, but funny enough, oh, sorry, not Austria-Hungary, Austria. But funny enough, Austria literally declared war on me. They did the job themselves, so I didn't even have to do anything. And this invasion goes great, but two troops managed to break out in two pockets, really. One in Vienna and one on the western side of the country. But I'm able to seal it, and of course, Austria is annexed. The Anschluss has happened for the second time in this case. Next up, I go and prepare to invade Slovenia. Slovenia, yeah, Slovenia. Because they're part of the EU. So I mean, I honestly, it's just a small state I can conquer in like one turn. So I just take the leftover troops from the Austrian invasion and gone. And funny enough, Croatia declared war on me as well. So I decided, you know what, why not invade them? I tried to take the Croatian, I'm sorry, Slovenian provinces, but since Croatia controlled some of them, I could not really annex. And so I just decided, you know what? Why not two birds with one stone? Bam, 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 gone. Croatia and Slovenia have been annexed. And so that completes all the territories I need from the Balkans now. And so makes my job easier. Next thing, since the Beneluxian countries have finished assimilating and now that's a massive, massive pool I can take of manpower, I decide to invade the French and in perfect timing, the Italians happen to be fighting them. So I decided, you know what, why not take the opportunity and, as I've done many times before, exploit conflicts. Exploiting foreign conflicts is the way to win. You know, that's the way to success right there. Anyways, okay, I could okay, that's just mad sus. Anyways, it's just a game, okay? It's just a game. Anyways, I invade France. It goes just as well as 1940. Oh fuck no, that was a joke. Anyways, goes just as well. I'm able to take Paris in a matter of turns. And the French, of course, since they're distracted with the Italians, the front hasn't even moved there. In fact, I'm able to just really steamroll their entire country. And see, thing was, since France collapsed and they couldn't raise troops for the Italian front anymore, the Italians even do get a piece of the land, and they actually get quite a chunk of it. In fact, a lot more than they did per se in say like World War II. I mean, of course, in this game, geography really doesn't like the Alps really don't have an effect because the mountain range there really prevents troop movements. But in this game, it doesn't really matter. Like mountains, all they'll do in this game is just give like a slight buff, and that's it. So yeah. Anyways, I basically partitioned France with Italy, and then once um, I start preparing for an invasion of Greece, this massive army that I raised in the Netherlands. As I said, Netherlands and the Benelux region. Okay, I'll just say it right here, great pool for manpower in this game. If you can control it as like say France or Germany, you just got like a shit ton of manpower from that. Anyways, I start conquering Greece, and of course, this goes relatively easily. And Britain declares war on me. Now, you see, the nice thing is that the UK left the EU, so I don't have to conquer them in this gameplay. So yeah, I decided to just leave. I decided, you know what, from like here itself, I decided, you know what, I'm not gonna go through the pain. And luckily for me, if Greece had happened to like take part of Bulgaria as well, for some reason, I guess there was a war. I didn't know. I didn't really see it. And well, it was just free territory at that point, really. But the awkward thing was that I was actually struggling because, struggling to really assimilate the territory, mainly because I was taking so many provinces. I mean, right after the partition of France as well, so many provinces. I try to make peace with the UK, but they really don't give up. So I declare war. I get Ireland to declare war on them. Now, Ireland as well can't really win against the UK, but good distraction. And so after Ireland declares war on them, the UK, they make peace with me, and that solves that problem. And meanwhile, I start assimilating French territory and mainly the Greek territories. I take my time because I realize, I need to make sure to do these. And while I'm doing that, Romania declares war on me. And since they're in the EU, I decide, you know what, why not? Why not just yeah, why not? And so I decide, you know what, why not? And the Slovakian Slovakian territories, also great manpower pool. Anyways, I recruit from the Slovakian territories and assemble all my troops in Hungary, who I asked to get military access to. But all of a sudden, Bulgaria, who I thought was, allied with me, lets Romania just walk through their country. And yeah, now I have to deal with that whole front. So yeah, I was kind of annoyed at this, but of course, since I had a lot of money, I could just raise troops. And meanwhile, on the northern side, I'm invading with like 25,000 people. And of course, as y'all know, the AI in this game pretty bad at two front wars. So this really did help. And in a way, that front down there in Bulgaria, in which the Romanians were pushing, or as you can see, they're pushing. By the way, that place wasn't properly assimilated yet, so couldn't really defend it as well. They were pushing, and see, most of their troops were now occupied there. Like you can see them in the thousands, and so the actual proper country, the actual Romania, was kind of left alone, and so I just walked in and took it. Yeah, just walked in and took it really, and just like that, Romania is annexed. And so then I declare war on Bulgaria as okay. You know what? If we had to make this, I have to make this personal. They did kind of let the Romanians just like walk through, surprise attack me. Like, come on, man. Like, what? But either way, I mean, I already had the troops there, anyways. Convenience. And okay, I decided to like finish up assimilating the French territories that I'd missed. And see, the slightly annoying thing is like in assimilating, the game goes by stability, and so since these troops were just lining the border here, the stability was artificially increased. You could say like it's increased not by the assimilation; it's increased by the troop presence, and so that usually leads to a problem in which that the area isn't actually like stable, and when the troops leave, it's like done for. So I declare war. I prepare for declaration on Italy, and I decide. You know what? I have enough troops on all the lines. I have about. I think I had about nearly on average about 4,000 per province, 4,000 troops per province, and so I decide to invade Italy. And weird detail, but like Israel declared war on me as, and keep in mind I'm Germany, so I'm not gonna make a comment on that. Anyways, the invasion of Italy, it goes relatively unimpeded. They do try to launch a 20,000 man naval invasion of Udine. Is that how you pronounce it? Did I butcher the pronoun? Anyways, they try. I can't English. They try to launch a naval invasion, and I immediately rushed troops in to contain it. Of course, having 20,000 people, it's really hard to contain, and so however, I'm able to overwhelm them eventually. I mean, yeah, right here, we were able to overwhelm them. They ran out of troops, and I guess they couldn't recruit. Either ways, I start moving down the Italian peninsula with the few troops that I have left, at least, and I wait for some reinforcements to arrive before I just push down. And at this point, the Italian front line is mostly collapsed. I'm able to take Rome just like that, really. And of course, we practically walk through down to Naples and Sicily, and I even invade Sicily by like uh, this thing navally. And also, a bunch of countries had declared war on me, and as you can see there, I made peace with them. I didn't want to waste my time. Anyways, just like that, all of that Italian territory was assimilated, or not assimilated, taken into my control. And so I had to agonizingly assimilate every single province. It's probably the most, not most annoying thing about the game, but it's up there. It's up there. Because like every time, especially if you do like a really big like country and conquer it, yeah, really annoying. And then I took some Bulgarian lands even that I missed, and I had to assimilate those. I wanted to attack Hungary, but I decided, you know what, they have a really good relation with me, so I, decided to keep them around. Mainly because, why declare war on people that have good relations with you? It makes no sense. And so I decided to take over the leftover troops from the Romanian campaign and decide to move them over to prepare to invade Poland. Holy shit, the amount of World War II jokes I can make in this video. Yeah. Okay, this is not gonna raise any sort of alarms. But after I finished assembling all my troops, and I think Poland was also at war with a couple of nations actually, yeah, three nations, so wasn't even gonna face the full strength. But yeah, we took them back straight to 1939, and funny enough, it's October 2031 on the game date. Oh man, we were so close. We were so close. Anyways, the invasion goes relatively unimpeded. They do stop me at Krakow. Right, is that how you pronounce it? Anyway, Krakow and even in the what do you call this place? I'm just gonna say the Western Poland. That's it. That's it. Okay, Western Poland. They managed to break my front line, but now they were trapped in me. In me. What? No, that sounds so wrong. But encirclement. Anyways, Poland gets invaded relatively quickly, and of course the UK decides to just come in and then take like three provinces, three provinces for no reason. And you know what? Conveniently enough, Poland had taken over Lithuanian territory, and so I just took that as well. Now, meanwhile, this British enclave, you could say, this little snatch away, I had to, get rid of it, and I did. So I made sure to annex all the territory of Poland. I didn't want, to lose it just in case. The British do manage to hold out at Gdansk, yeah, but yeah, my troops are able to kick them out, and I get all the provinces because at this point I'm the number one country in the world, and I think as we've seen before, the AI is much more willing to make peace with you when you're the number one, and so I, of course, painstakingly assimilate all this Polish territory and make sure to get every single province. Then I begin to move my troops up and bring them all to Lithuania, really, to prepare for a Latvian invasion. And I try to annex them, but they refuse. And so now I see that, like, Estonia, right? As you can see there, it's being occupied by Russia. And so I wanted to stop that. And that's why I got Kazakhstan to invade Russia. Hopefully that I could disrupt that invasion. It wasn't likely, but I still wanted to take my chance. Anyways, I also decided simply because I can, and also because I have a lot of money. I'm just like, why not prepare for an invasion of Spain as well? Because why not? You know, pointlessly invading countries is what I've done from like the beginning in this game. Anyways, Spain holds off relatively well. They are able to give a good counterattack. That's the thing about Spain, actually. Yeah, when you try to invade them, I've invaded them on multiple occasions, but when you try to invade them, they usually raise an army of about like 20,000 to like counterattack. So most of the time you gotta be prepared because it's hard to really have your full front line covered like that. And so I mainly try to focus on this war in Spain, and they do counterattack, but I take out all of Catalonia as well, and I managed to land a naval invasion in the Balearic Islands, and I just set that troop to take it over. I also get Algeria to declare war on Spain, just so that I can have a distraction that mainly because they lose their North African territories that way. Even though I didn't need it, hey, it weakens the enemy. It helps. Everything helps. Everything that weakens the enemy, that is. And so at this point, Spain's kind of exhausted. The AI does this, but it's exhausted. It's manpower, you could say, or not manpower, money mostly, money. And so they're relatively unable to put up a defense. And my front line, of course, my armies managed to just push over. And just like that, Spain's invaded. Serbia and Iran just declared war on me, but I didn't want to waste my time. Serbia is not a part of the EU because of the whole thing that went down there, and so yeah, I didn't have to bother with conquering them. And I was really contemplating going going conquering Gibraltar as well, because why not? And Portugal also. They also decided to attack me, and I decided to immediately make peace with them, even though I was already there. But decided to make peace with them mainly because Spain was right there. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Andorra, like freaking Andorra, declares on me, just out of nowhere, just like that. And then right after that, Latvia declares war on me. And so I'm dealing with like what I'm dealing with Spain, Andorra, and like Latvia. I know it's not that bad. It doesn't sound very bad at all. Spain is practically dead. Andorra is well Andorra, and Latvia is just well chill. There's up in the north there. Anyways, I'm able to take Andorra La Vella. That's what the city called, and I'm able to push back. Now over on this side in the Latvian front, I am able to push them back from their initial advance. They do counterattack my counterattack. However, I, of course, with the overwhelming numerical superiority, am able to beat them. However, they do hold out at Riga for one more turn. Yeah. Meanwhile, I annex Spain and Andorra, and of course Latvia, and so just like that, my two front wars like gone. Now I once again have to spend like several minutes, not minutes, like minute or two to assimilate everything. Yep, never gets old. So fun. Still going. Anyways, I look at what I need to conquer, right? And I notice that yeah, I missed this, but I missed these islands, but you know what? Doesn't matter. And then I realized I missed Monaco, and so I just get that over with. They do repel like two attacks, but yeah, I half-heartedly attack there. Then I look at Hungary, and like they've been a good ally, so I'll leave them alone. Then Britain just does a 180 for some reason, and now they're like really good friends with me. But I decide, you know what? Screw this. This is revenge for the whole stealing Polish lands that I totally should have owned. Anyways, I don't know what. Anyways, I decide. See, the thing was, what I realized that even though I kind of played a hand in Ireland being no longer existing, I realized that I needed Irish territory for the European Union since they're technically a part of it. And so, well, I just took that shit back. And of course, assimilated it. And then I decided to prepare for an invasion of Hungary. Because, at this point, I had no more places to really conquer. Like, no more small places. So, I just decided maybe I'll just, finally get them over with. They put up a pretty... Okay, I can't say they put up a good resistance. It's hard to say that right here. This is a bad... Okay. Yeah, Hungary didn't exist anymore. Anyways, Cuba declares war on me for some reason, and yes, so does Moldova, but yeah, I just make peace. And I then prepare for the eventual war with Russia, because, you see, despite my efforts, Estonia is still under their control, and like they annexed it. So that's what happened. But I don't know how, okay, like I did not cause this, but a rebellion pops up in Estonia, takes over all of Estonian land, and then just releases itself. And the Livonian order just pops up. And like, it works perfectly in my favor, and I just get to annex it. Like, I'm not kidding. Guys, I don't know how this even happened, okay? This is the most random occurrence, randomly convenient, that's for sure. But I don't know, man. I don't know how that even happened. But it gave me an excuse now that, like, not to fight Russia. And you know what? Russia was good allies with me anyway, so Didn't even need to. It was best that it didn't happen, really. And so now that Spain has been fully assimilated, I decide to prepare for the invasion of Portugal. I mean, they tried to declare war on me while I was like most vulnerable in this territory, but now I get them back. And also Gibraltar tried as well. They declared war on me while I was going to war with Spain, but yeah, I annexed them. Anyways, I prepare and eventually do invade Portugal. The northern and yeah, northern and central advance, those go very well, practically unimpeded. But the southern area is not really as good. However, I'm able to bring the numbers down, and just like that, I took over Portugal and its islands. And of course, assimilate. Yeah, okay. Anyways, I realized that the only nations I needed were the Nordic nations, and you know, this is a sad realization, but I realized I didn't need to fight Russia because they may have taken Estonia and like lost Estonia, but they took Finland. And so I realized, I need to fight them eventually. And so I declare war on Sweden because I want that to be the last thing I do. And so Sweden goes relatively well. Clearly the IKEA fortification. They didn't have an IKEA manual on how to survive German invasions. So I mean, of course, Russia made that manual. Anyways, funny enough, they'd taken Oslo from Norway. I guess it was a war that happened before. I didn't even notice. And so I just push up after after this point though, like after this point in Sweden in the game while you're invading, it's mainly just barren wasteland up here. Like in terms of the game, it's just a few thousand people and that's it. So nothing to really recruit from. So I'm just walking through like barren territory here. Or not barren, but practically barren is how I put it. And so I annexed Sweden relatively quick, pretty easily. And so I look at my map, right, and I realize that I also have to attack Norway. And here, the Livonian Order declares war on me, but I got them off my back immediately. And all of a sudden, a rebellion pops up, which really didn't expect, because it didn't really happen in any of the other territories. But what I assumed was that over in those provinces, I think there was a lot of fighting there, and so what happened was during these wars, pillaging usually happens, right? And so that causes population unhappiness, which then causes the population to revolt. It just happened. It just so happened that the revolt chance finally worked when I came around, and so here I actually annex Norway, just like that. So just Anschluss, I guess, just take over Norway, and I realized, I have all the territory I really need from the Scandinavian countries, and now I have to prepare for the great, like the massive war with Russia. It's gonna be huge. A massive border as well, and so I just stack the border. That's the thing. I just stack it, and like even on the northern border, I move all of the leftover troops from the Swedish invasion all the way to the north, all the way to the north up there with the border with Finland. And so I'm completely ready for this invasion of Russia. And even though they're good allies with me, I have to do it. But first, I decide, why not? I take over Malta, and I take over Ireland. I'm not sure what this country even is, but yeah, take it over, and then I invade Russia. And luckily for me, they were pretty distracted with Kazakhstan already, but I got North Korea to invade, and rebellion popped up in Mongolia. So I guess it was a really good time. And I even got Crimea to join in, or not Crimea, Ukraine in this case, to join in. And so in this war, right, I decided, I'm not going to push from the, how do I say this, the southern, not southern, like central territories, the ones which are like bordering Ukraine, no, it's not, Ukraine, Poland. I decide I decide that I'm just gonna invade from Finland, mainly because I just want the provinces of the EU empire. I want to remain strictly in those borders, so that I can properly form this EU instead of like all wonky borders and all. So I conquer what I need, right, and I conquer all of Finland, but the game doesn't let me annex it this time, and so I decide, you know what, screw this, and then we do Operation Barbarossa 2039 version, and yeah, this time it's even like worse than the original. Oh gosh, it's just. And after this, I have to manually select actually, but and then I tried again, but it still doesn't work. So I go for another round of like territorial conquest, and after this, I'm pretty sure, yeah, I'm able to take the territory I need, and I only lost like a few thousand people in this process. In the process, I have like a few extra stars remaining, but nothing I can really do about it. And just like that, we have formed the European Union. And yeah, oh wait, actually, I just realized that conquest of Norway was completely unnecessary. So I should probably I want to make this as accurate as possible. So just gonna, yep. Okay, now we have wait. Oh, for fuck's sake. All right, now we have finally formed the EU. Just like that, the European Union has been formed. Now, thing is, interestingly enough, you might wonder, why would Germans even conquer an economic union centered around them? Yeah, I have no clue. Anyway, see you guys next time.